Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode.
Yo, it's Classic with the Classic Codes. Got another reaction today. About to join the conversation with the dog Aton Daniels. Going over this TikTok video of a lady saying that men control marriage and they're not choosing black women. Before we get into this, I want to go ahead and ask you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment as we go along so we can have a conversation, because we got to crack these codes, man. So, man, I ain't going to waste no time. Let's get into it and see what she talking about. And I'm going to join the conversation with my brother Anton, man. Let's see what's up.
I'm going to say this real short and sweet. Men control marriage. Men control marriage. So when we have the conversation of why so many black women are single, the reason is because most black women only want to date black men. And the issue with that is that most black men do not want to be married. They don't value marriage. They don't value commitment. They don't value family.
All right. I would love to let her finish, and I'm going to start this back over so we can get the full frame of reference. But in the door, I just want to say, like, you speaking from a position of ignorance. How many days of your life have you spent being a black man? You don't know how do you know what you're saying? Most black men don't want to be married. Where did you get your census from? You know what I mean? Where'd you get that from? So more than 50%, 51% of black men do not desire to be married, or 51% of black men or 60% or 70% or whatever it is of black men desire to be married without having to worry about losing all their shit, being played, etc., etc., etc. Let's take this one from the top, man. I'm gonna let her get her whole thought off. But in the dough, like, what you talking about?
I'm going to say this real short and sweet. Men control marriage. Men control marriage. So when we have the conversation of why so many black women are single, the reason is because most black women only want to date black men. And the issue with that is that most black men do not want to be married. They don't value marriage. They don't value commitment. They don't value family as a collective group. So this is why most black women are single and have never been married. However, what I find interesting is when black women open up their options and decide to venture outside the race, a lot of them actually get married. Did you hear what I just said?
She's wrong.
When black women decide to go outside the race, she finally gets married. Let that sink in.
Is the purpose to get married, or is the purpose to be a productive human being that ultimately lives the best life possible? Because let me break it down to you. So it always comes back down to like a scripture that I always like to quote. And it's, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. And what that means to me is that I don't have to chase it. I don't have to require it. I don't have to necessarily desire it. All I have to do is be the best version of myself, and then everything else comes with it. If I'm a productive human being, if I'm honest, if I'm dedicated, if I'm consistent, if I love God, if I'm 100% in my purpose 100% of the time, I ultimately have no choice but to be rewarded, because I am going to be at the top of my field of whatever respective field that is, right? I'm ultimately going to be desired by the person that I'm supposed to be with. And so I've always believed that if you have to chase it, it's not for you. That means that you got more work to do internally, because I personally don't see. I'm going to be 100% real with y'all. And I'm also going to link back to the content creator, because that is the right thing to do. I always give credit where credit is due, and I appreciate also the people that send me these videos. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com if you find something that you think is awesome and that you want me to speak to. And if I check it out, I appreciate you. But women that are marriage material get married. They get wifed up. listen. I don't know how many times I have to communicate this to you guys, but I'm gonna tell you one more time. Women that are great are not left on the market. Guys snatch them up ASAP. They do not leave them to fend for themselves. They do not leave them out there in the streets. They do not leave them and try to. Women that are wives that are truly desirable, most of the time, women that are the best of the best and that are great at what they do. And I'm not even talking about looks. I'm talking about femininity. I'm talking about communication. I'm talking about, they don't have to get on an application in order to get a date.
He ain't lying though. He's not lying. I say it all the time. These chicks be out here single and perfect. All they can do is tell you how awesome and how great they is and how good of a catch they is and how flawless they is or how many of their traumas they already worked through and how improved they is and how new they is. They be perfect and single. Perfectly single. Perfect and single. And that's why I don't be buying it. You know what I'm saying? Like it be a whole lot of yip yap. It's like, nah, fam. Nah, fam. If that was the case, somebody and then they'll tell you how many dudes did value them and did want to lock in with them, but they said no. Oh, I've been proposed to 49 times. I've been proposed to 26 times. And it's just like, okay, so you telling me your flaw right there. You a commitment phobe. You got 49 people that valued you. You had 5 people that valued you and proposed to you. 5 different men valued you and proposed to you, and you told all 5 of them no, or you told 4 of them no and 1 of them yes, and y'all didn't even make it to the altar. Like, all right, so again, perfect and single, and only a simp or a certain type of man that's still operating out of being naive is gonna buy that bullshit. Like he's saying, the dope ones, the ones that get it, the ones that connect, the ones that understand, the ones with some humility, the ones with a sense of self, a sense of purpose, the ones who ain't talking about, I don't want to have kids because of how it's going, they talking about they don't want to have kids because they want to live their life for them and all that. Like them ain't wives that you hear talking when they saying that goofy shit. The women as wives become wives.
They not on the dating apps. The women that are on dating apps, in my opinion, are women that are left for the rest to be picked over, and they are the undesirables. And again, I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about sentiment, demeanor. Because when people meet you and when people communicate with you, when people get in your presence, they know who you are. We don't have to ask. The conversation, for example, about body count, that is for the internet. Like that is for open conversation, is meaningful conversation. But in real life, a guy that knows who you are automatically slots you because he can tell whether or not you are overly promiscuous and if you're for the streets or if you're a person that's wifey material. And trust me, wives, women that are truly wives were wives before a man picked them. Now, I'm going to get into the sentiment of what she's talking about, but I just want y'all to understand something. If you're not being picked, then the problem is you.
Facts.
And if you're only going out there to get married and not actually find or add value into a person's life to be purposeful as a woman, then you are not going to be married long and you're not going to be in a great situationship. You're going to do it for the gram, but you're not going to do it for yourself and you're not going to be happy and it ain't going to make no difference anyway. Because the person that you were supposed to marry, probably you already dissing. And I
want to add on to that because I always say that, like, I don't think we have a dating issue. I don't think we have compatibility issues. I don't think most people are having connectivity issues. I think the issue is sustainability. You have a lot of people with a whole lot of experience with a whole lot of different people. Why you got so many exes? It's a sustainability issue. I don't got a ton of exes. I don't. Me personally, I don't have a ton of exes. When I'm not in a relationship, I'm working on myself. I don't got 40 exes. Y'all got 10, 15 exes. Sometimes you listen to these podcasts when we talk about I dated a man that was a plumber. I dated a man that made minimum wage. I dated a man that was a millionaire. I dated a man. Every scenario you come up with, they dated a man. And it's like, how many dudes you date? Like, it's serial dating. It's serial hyper freaky. It's a lot, everything going on except for real shit being established. And I think that's the biggest problem. It ain't no real shit no more. I think it's more people concerned about what it looked like than what it is.
not adding in all of the different contexts. We're not adding in all of the different factors. I'll give you an example. Most men do want to be married. And even though it is true that we control access to marriage because we are the ones that are going to marry you, we are fearful. Most men are fearful. Listen, they are fearful of divorce. You are talking to a person that has coached hundreds, if not thousands of guys over a long period of time and has been discussing this for a long time. And I know what the sentiment is from these guys. They're not there. They want to be married. They want kids. They want a great wife. They want to settle down. But there's so many other factors, right? They are fearful of these family court laws because they've seen what happened to men in the past, and they'd be idiots to put themselves under the guillotine and be under duress, considering that you guys then control everything when it comes to divorce. And that's why women often at times file for divorce more than 70% of the time.
Yeah, why wouldn't the numbers be that way when they're largely the beneficiaries of divorce? The spoils go to the woman when it largely, in most instances, when a divorce happens. So you're incentivized in a way to go ahead and get up out of there. When whole time it was something y'all probably could have worked though. But whole time, did you ever even like them like that? You know, shit get wicked, man.
It's just a fact. Men are not picked when they are on their way up. The time that you're supposed to rock out with him is when he in his, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. And that is the time that he's really, really supposed to be broke. He just getting out of college, or he may just be finding himself. You don't want him at that time. You want the dude that is already at the finish line. And so you looking to get picked. But what you don't understand is that now you in a competitive race. You in a competitive race against everybody else. When you should have got with him, when you were shooting in it, is when he was shooting in the gym. Now that he didn't put up all of the shots and he an all-star, now you think that he's supposed to pick you. Why? What makes you the person that is supposed to be the most desirable? Men want marriage, especially black men, and they prefer black women, but they don't like their attitudes. They don't like their disposition. They don't like getting used, and they do not like the idea that a woman can take the majority of their assets and use their kid as leverage if they get a divorce. And so until you change family court laws, until you change the culture, and until you change the attitude of the women that they then have to pick from, you are not going to find a man that is going to pick you. And guys, just because they are by themselves do not mean that they are lonely. And then you also can throw another piece of the puzzle in the gumbo and say that, well, on top of that, right? Women only are selecting, or they are looking for all of the same things while refusing to take accountability for who they are. Listen, at some point, if you want results, and this is universal law, this is not only applicable to relationships, this is universal. If you want something better, or if you want to enhance or grow to the next level or go to the next level, at some point you have to take ownership and accountability of the position that you are in, or that you put yourself in. If you are not looking in the mirror and consciously and subconsciously are always trying to figure out how you can put yourself in the best position possible, it's similar to a job at a job interview. You're not going to go in there and do what you want to do. You're going to make the adjustment in your whole life. You've been training, which is one of the reasons why you went to college, for a specific study or a specific field or a specific curriculum, so that you can get into this role. And you are meeting the expectations already that you know exist. Marriage and relationships is the only thing that people, it's the only construct to where women and people feel like they can do what they want to do and still be able to get the results. Nonsense.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. And I'll add this. I think one thing Anton didn't touch on that I'm gonna touch on, he did touch on it, but I'm gonna emphasize it, is that I think the number one thing that keep most American women, or American black women, single and unmarried is just a temperament in their mouth. Plain and simple. I just think a lot of sisters just don't know what to do with their mouth. They don't know when to close it. They don't know what to open it for. They don't know when to open it. They'd rather have the last word. They'd rather poke out their chest. What we call masculinity. But honestly, I think that's the number one barrier. And the second one would obviously be fitness, right? Like, they eat crazy and your average sister is big. So, it's a big back epidemic, and they loud and big. So it's like, I think that's two fundamental controllables that women are consciously choosing not to control. And the problem is that you got a conglomerate of women that'll tell them hey girl, it's okay, somebody gonna love you just like that. And it's just not true. Somebody a crack though, they'll listen to your yip yip long enough to smash for until they tired of it. You know what I mean? And then they gonna be up out of there. And you gonna be talking about how he wasn't this and he wasn't that, and he gonna be the moved on, not giving a damn. That's the long and the short of it, man. But let me lock in real quick because I think we got what we need on this one. Just another woman spewing a theory that is complete nonsense, easily disprovable, and largely disagreeable for anybody who's lived the male experience, right? But we're not gonna punch down. That sister's entitled to her opinion, though her opinions can be proven wrong. At the end of the day, I want y'all to go ahead, subscribe to the channel, man, hit that like button, drop a comment if you agree or disagree so we can have a conversation, because we got to crack these codes. If y'all don't do nothing else, man, make sure y'all stick to the codes. Yes, Lord.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart.